What is going on, guys? Today we are back. So yesterday, if you saw Monday markups, you saw I was in EJ buys, and I'll show you exactly why. So we were in EJ buys, and we saw this pretty much this rectangle. It's just this major zone that price has been playing in between for 20 days. So yeah, over 20 days, price had broken below. Had a breakout candle right here. We never got a retest. We got to close back in the zone. So right there, with another major close back in the zone, even if you had your zone like way up here. So it was really obvious where this, how we had closed back in. So that is one of my favorite plays to trade, is a fake out, kind of like over here. That's a really good play right here. So that is exactly why I took EJ, and it actually took a small L, a 1% loss. But because it is such a small loss and I've been maintaining my risk to reward really well, it's literally on to the next trade. The loss should never faze me. And actually, after this had happened, now we're looking at more downside on EJ. So and another thing is, now that I'm looking at it, we were in a major downtrend, and to even call like a reversal back up to here is kind of irrational. So that is definitely one thing I might have done wrong. Like, if it was a downtrend, a fake out would have definitely been like even more valid. But we were on a downtrend looking for buys, which is never an amazing idea. So that is probably good that, we didn't end up taking the W on that. So we have this downtrend here. I also didn't have this trend line there because, really this is a very short-term trend line that it's kind of abiding, and I guess it abided on this third touch, obviously now. So I really didn't pay much attention to it because in reality, the real trend is, way back here. So it's like from there, all the way up there. So that is the only trade that I've taken this week so far. There was one that I saw last night on GN, and it was a solid play. Ended up not taking the position because I fell asleep when I was asleep before this had happened. So, price had come back to touch, a little small double bottom. I don't trade double bottoms at all whatsoever, but I knew that it was at a major zone. So right here was a super key reversal point, and we had this huge impulse up on GN. So these 4-hour candles was just a flag, and then tapped right off here on this very short-term trend line and the major support. And bam, shot right up here to the next zone that I had placed right above this wick. So GN was a beautiful play last night. And now I'm going to go over some stuff that I'm just looking at today. So EG was another play that I had in mind last night. I never got a solid confirmation. Let me tell you why. Okay. So daily is on an uptrend. We were at the third touch for it to take, another bullish, for it to go on another bullish ride. But also, we were abiding this 4-hour small downtrend, the flag pattern that it had made, and it was at a beautiful support impulse down flag. So this is a perfect flag pattern. That is absolute textbook. We had a small pen bar here. Some would say it's invalid because it's bullish, but I do not agree with that. This is a definitely valid pen bar. But again, on the daily, which is how I determine my bias, is it was still bullish. So I was only going to take bulls if we had broken out and retested right here. And I'm only going to take sells now that we have taken this uptrend. We've breached that uptrend, and we're still abiding this 4 hour. So what I could see right here on EG is I could see us retesting this for more downside, possibly to the next major daily zone. That would be a very good sell-off. We're now breaching. We need to approach this higher low. So that would be a solid trade, waiting for that to happen. So that would be good. And at this zone, I always wait for either like a pen bar, like hanging man, just like a good candlestick confirmation. So to know that that has happened, like on EJ, for example, you know, my initial bias on Sunday when I marked up my charts was bears. So I never had a solid rejection right here to tell me, okay, we're still going down. We had this initial close back in the zone with another close back in the zone. So I could say, all right, we're at least going zone to zone, maybe down. So, but now, you know, now we're getting rejection at this zone. And honestly, you never ever know what's going to happen. We never ever know. So really all you can do is stick with what you love to do, how you know how to trade. And mine is number 1, fake outs, and number 2, break and retest on a trend line with major support, major resistance. So that's how I love to trade. And EG had 3 confirmations. It had this trend line, it had a break and retest right here, and a flag pattern. So that's 3 confirmations, and a pen bar. So that's 4 for some downside. Now, this is not the big move. That is not a big move. That's an 80 pip move. I mean, from up here, obviously it's 300 pips, but no one in their right mind will probably take sells up here unless they're like really, really crazy smart about like weekly support or monthly support or something like that. I mean, it definitely looks like it's reaching resistance on the monthly. So looking at that, ladies and gentlemen, currently, and that will probably, you know, either retest, break down, or go back up within the next 12-24 hours. So keeping my eye on that. GU is like my least favorite pair. It was ranging for over 20 days, and it looks like the pound is really gaining back its value, gaining back some traction. Johnson's coming back. Here's another pair that I kind of have my eye on, is EA. So again, it was in between this, you know, 2 zones. Kept bouncing in between these 2 zones. And it broke down and kept ranging in between here. So what I have here is major support, turned into resistance, broke back down, looks like a fake out, no, back up, and bam, we're on here. So this is probably just destroying people's accounts. I mean, taking sells here, watching it go back up, taking buys, watching it come back down into the zone. Okay, sells because it's a fake out. And then it coming back up, hitting your stop loss. Now it's retesting here. So honestly, EA is literally it's a mousetrap right now. I don't even see a trend. The only confirmation I have is this major zone. And personally, that's not enough, as you can see. So I mean, right here, it looks like it could go down. I mean, it did, but then it came back up. It was never a true trend. So what's happening right now is just destroying people's accounts, and people are getting caught in the mousetrap. So there's that. So if I don't abide by this wick right here, and I take it to here, there, breakout, retest, major zone. Daily looks bearish because massive bearish candle. Wick engulfing, close below this zone. Now it's retesting this zone right here on the daily for more downside. This is how I feel. This is my bias. And this is kind of just how I look at the charts. So the daily, I have a bearish bias on the daily. And the 4 hour is not telling me anything yet. It has not aligned with my daily bias, so I'm not taking the trade. In fact, it looks like it could go up because it is abiding on this zone, and maybe it could come back up here. So I'm staying away from it right now, but it does have my attention. I would like to see that happen. Maybe back down to here. That's a long-term play, so we shall see. So EA, oh yeah, GA also. So let me show you something. So GA had a small head and shoulders forming. So it was a shoulder, head, shoulder over here. So that usually signals bears at that neckline. But currently we had this huge bearish candle right here, and it was sitting right at this zone, which was abiding this major support right here. Major daily support. So it was sitting there, and now it has broken through with this small 4 hour candle. So I'm not taking anything on GA currently. I'm either going to wait for it to come back here, show me some rejection, or break back down, show me some rejection for sell off. And that's all I look for is, candlestick rejection, market structure such as, a trend line. This is an uptrend, obviously, and then the daily bias. So those are definitely 3 key components. Ian has been chilling for a very long time also. It's still abiding this daily trend. Pretty much every NZD pair and AUD pair kind of did the same exact daily close. I believe we have NZD news tonight, so nope, not tonight, it's tomorrow. So red folder news tomorrow, private capital expenditures, AMZ business comments, crude oil. So that's going to move the market. NZD is definitely waiting on that. AUD is definitely waiting on that, and we're going to see what happens with that. I'm learning a lot more about fundamentals also. So for just today, I'm just looking at EG. I'd say that's the cleanest setup. I mean, I don't want to get caught in the mousetrap of predicting what GA is going to do, or EA. I mean, that's a mousetrap right here. This looks like absolute, unless that's how you trade, that's totally fine. But for me, I like the clean, easy setup, the one that's so obvious, just like EG, looks. I mean, it's a break of the daily trend line. We have a beautiful trend line happening on the 4 hour support. And looks like it could head down more. So that's my favorite way to trade. Keep it stupid simple, and I will see you guys tomorrow.